Yes, Andrew. Well, we started with angles about a few months before the yearling sale, and then from there we found out that most good horses have an angle above 100 degrees or more. And then from then we found out that there's guys in America who are doing different biomechanical measurements of a horse to judge its racing ability. And then from those biomechanical measurements, you can deduct the shape of a horse should be your ideal Grade 1 winner at whichever distance you'd like. The measurements will change, but you'll be able to see distance gearings and stuff on top of the horse.
Okay, so above 100 degrees, how does one measure that?
So it's taken from the line of the scapula and the point of the ilium and the hip, and they'll make a triangle in the middle of the horse's back. And then that triangle, you'll take an angle.
Would it be fair to say that this angle can increase as a horse gets older?
Yes, obviously as a horse gets older, the shoulder will get a little bit more slack and the hips will slack a bit as well. So the angle will expand over time. But at your prime racing age, that angle will be 1 to 2 degrees different than when you buy a horse at a yearling sale.
Okay, so let's start off with the ideal scenario. We've obviously analysed horses like Galileo and Frankel and Secretariat. What kind of angles did they possess?
Yeah, so Secretariat was quite a bit of a stride horse, so he had a 110 angle. And then Galileo and Frankel are both, Frankel was 105 and Galileo was 100.
Okay, the interesting thing is that two of them were grass horses and one was a dirt horse, although Secretariat I'm sure would run on anything. What are the highest rated South African horses that you've measured?
Yeah, so Pocket Power clocked 114. He was probably the highest South African horse we've measured, but Horse Chestnut I think it's 102 degrees. Jetmaster was 103.
Let's take a look at lot number 169 because we're now looking at projecting to the future. This is a son of Patala Palace, who himself is a son of Singspiel. What can you tell us about Paw Patrol?
Yeah, so Paw Patrol's measurements biomechanically are very good. They indicate that he should be a sprinter, which his pedigree page does suggest as well. So if you look at his girth ratio, it's 0.91, that's his girth. So that's the relation from the top of his shoulder through to the bottom of his girth in relation to his leg. Then we have the shoulder strength, which is the point from the top of the shoulder to the point of the shoulder in front in relation to his leg. Then we have the scope ratio, which is 2.7. That's from the point of his eye to the point of the buttock. That's 2.7. Then the neck strength is the line from the point of the shoulder to the bottom of the shoulder. Then just a cross section of the neck. We take that over each other. That gives us 0.73, which indicates he has quite a thick neck for a young colt. So gelding should probably be an option. Then we have his angle of 103 degrees. That gives us 1.03. And then his hind leg measurement is from the top of the hip through to the point of the hock, and then that over the leg, and that gives us 1.41. So that indicates he'll have a very good turn of foot, and he'll probably be a good sprinter.
So his overall score comes out at 8.11.
Yes, Andrew. So that 8.11 is an angle inclusive score. So without the angle, he'd be 7.08.
Okay, so on average, there's probably around about 400 plus horses on the sale. How many horses do you think will be above 7?
So above 7, we'll probably get to around 30% of the catalogue. So it's very few horses, and those will be your multiple winners and your graded stakes winners. These horses obviously are first foals, but they're not very small. So if you're looking to buy a bit of value, it's a new stud. You'll find your value there. These are quite proper biomechanical horses.